On this episode of Hot Take Tuesday, we are talking about the whole bisexual men versus straight women debacle that is happening on TikTok. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna start off with the ladies, the straight ladies. I don't mean to burst anyone's bubbles, but there are a lot more bisexual men around us than you think. At the very least, bi-curious. It's just they haven't acted on it. Because how our society is set up, nothing is worse than being gay. People are making justifications for pedophilia over being gay. I don't feel bad for men, and I'm sorry to say that, because they are the ones that continue to perpetuate this cycle of toxic masculinity. They continue to perpetuate this cycle of homophobia. They have all the keys. The ball's in their court to stop this cycle, and they won't. And you want to know why? Because most men will not admit this, but men are very male-centered. They care more about the opinions of men than they do about women, and we're feeling that. Okay, so ladies, I feel like, I don't know. Now, I need to get some clarification. What y'all are saying is that it is now considered being homophobic or biphobic if a straight person's preference is to date other straight people. Am I hearing y'all correctly? I'm sorry. That doesn't pass the sniff test. See, that's where y'all lost me on this argument. Because what the hell? Am I hearing y'all correctly? It is now being considered homophobic or biphobic if a straight person's preference is another straight person. Now, I've always had more gay friends than straight friends, especially in this chapter of my life. And I even texted a few of them. I talked to a few of them to get their perspective and their answer. And I encourage people on the internet, especially these types of people, to get off the freaking internet, get off your freaking phones and start having conversations out in the wild with real people right in front of you. Because you just regurgitating and consuming the same opinions, it's rotting your brain. It's regressing y'all backwards, and I hope you know that. In what universe is it wrong for a straight person's preference to be dating other straight people? In what universe? You know what my gay friends had to say? Not one of them agreed with that. There's a reason. I've never heard this from, again, I'm talking about the gay men in my life, my entire life, right? Not one of them have felt entitled to all men, including straight men, right? Lesbians too. Not one lesbian that I have encountered felt privied to all women, including straight women, and there's a reason, right? Now, the same concept is applied to bisexuals, right? Because it's the same reasoning. These people aren't gay. These people have preferences to date straight people. What isn't clicking for y'all? Right? What isn't clicking? Because if we're following that logic, are you going to call people who don't date outside their race or who didn't marry someone who is outside of their race racist? Is that where we're headed as a society? Do you see how so unbelievably wrong you people are? I don't understand that logic. Because it's the same thing. We're talking about things you can't control, right? You can't control your sexuality. You can't control your race. Yet you still have preferences. Are you trying to say that the people who would rather date their same race and wouldn't date outside their race are racist? So the same logic is applied to straight people, because they wouldn't want to date people who aren't straight. That makes them biphobic and homophobic. Bruh. To wrap this Hot Take Tuesday, my issue is I don't care who the hell you are. I don't care what community you belong to. If you think that everyone should want you, that's a whole level of narcissism that I can't even fathom. Why are you overly concerned about people who don't want you? Focus on the people that do. Because again, by the logic of people in these comments and making these videos, you're saying that all people should want you. And if they don't, they are discriminating against you in some way. regardless of what their preferences may be. But to reverse that argument, does that mean that you in turn should want everyone? It should be a free-for-all. You get no say-so. Your preferences do not matter. Is that what I'm hearing? Because that's what you're saying. Okay? My biggest problem is, yes, there are homophobic women, and that's why they don't want to date bisexual men. There are racist people, and that's why they don't date and marry outside their race. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say that's not true. But for y'all to put that generalization on all straight women who don't want to date bisexual men, that's where you lost me. That's where you're losing the plot. Because that's not fair. You don't know people's situations. You don't know their experiences. There's a lot of reasons why a straight woman may not want to date a bisexual man, and it has nothing to do with their sexuality, right? Bisexual men, you date men. Are you really trying to say that a lot of men are prizes? Absolutely not. And a lot of y'all have gone on the internet to be like, well, we wouldn't want you anyway. Then why do you care? Why does it matter? If this is where we're headed as a society, I'm out. We need another plague. We need a asteroid. How'd the dinosaurs die? I'm out.